All right, so today we're going to be talking about sketching and projecting points. And you're probably in the middle of your project, so I am just going to get right to it. So the whole idea of projecting points from a sketch is usually anytime you do anything in Fusion that you're projecting, you either have to do it into a sketch or you're going to be using construction tools. So that's kind of how everything works. And then you need something to project to or from. And then usually you have to have something in order to do something with it, right? Or you have to have something to put something into it or reference from it or reference to it. So that's the whole idea. I'm going to just save this model. This is going to be project points. Points. There we go. I spelled that wrong again. That's okay. Points. O-I-N-T-S. There we go. Half of my life is wasted correcting my typing. Silly. Anyways, let's do. We're gonna do a sketch. This is gonna be a 3D sketch as well. So I'm just gonna do a quick polygon here. It's gonna be 3-sided, and I don't know, just do like that many, I guess. So, and then the other thing I want to do is sketch a line up, I don't know, however far. So we're going to do 60, say, lock that up into the front here. And then I want this to be, I don't know, 40, for example. These are all going to be construction lines. So this is the first sketch, what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm going to do down here at the bottom too. Another vertical thing. I'm doing all this in one sketch just because it's easier to do stuff on the fly because I have other construction geometry that I want to build going forward. So let's do another one that's 40. This is also a construction line. And then all the other stuff here are going to be construction lines as well. So this is why 3D sketch. So one, these are the things that we want to project. These are the lines here, right? So 1, 2, 3. These are also going to be construction lines. And if they weren't, these would be solids or surfaces that we can actually do something with, right? So let's just, get rid of that. So now we have, this is constrained here. This is constrained. These are not really, they're constrained, but they're not. Kind of like a gray area. Usually it's got the ability to move in reference on its own, but it's not generally going to. I haven't had any issues with doing stuff like this in the past. So there's that. Handy little tip is right click on your sketch here and say show dimensions, and then these dimensions will always be on when the sketch is on, even if you're not in sketch mode. So the other thing we're going to do is now we need a surface to project to. So I can do this two ways. I can offset this because this is at the origin, or the other sneaky thing I can do is make one along a path. So this is a path here, and all I have to do is make sure this is 1. I could say it's proportional, or I could say a physical distance, or whatever else. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to say proportional, and if I move this, it's always going to move. That's parametric with that plane is going to move. I'm just doing it this way. You can do, there's a bunch of different other ways you can do that. So there's that. So now I have this sketch here. Now these lines, I want to project these points down so that there's a point intersecting a point that's at the intersecting point of the plane and of this line. So we're going to use a construction point, and that's going to be a point through, and I think it's an edge and a plane. Yeah, so edge and plane. Pick your edge, pick your plane, and bam, there's the point that shows up. See? Pretty amazing. And we're just going to do this a few more times, or 2 more times. Right, so now we have our 3 points. And I'm going to make another point here, right, just at this vertex, just for shits and giggles, I guess. And now we're going to create another 3D sketch. And this is the one that we're going to use to make whatever we want to make here. So we're going to do a sketch on this bottom plane here. This isn't really the 3D part, but it's the part that needs to be, I suppose. And then there's the 3. So what we did, so now we have surfaces that we can do whatever we want with, but that's also parametric. So if I change this to 30, for example, I can do that. That's fine. Where does this come in handy? I'm really not 100% sure, certain, but what I can say is that if I have a plane, if I have something here and I'm projecting lines that go through these points and they come down to a certain point here or a certain plane, and that's what I want this to draw out as, well, that's kind of what it is if this is like a fixed sort of thing. Now I chose to make this fixed at the datum point, so the dimensions go up from here, but you can make the datum point here also, so it changes, everything changes with it. So I say this is 20, then the shape changes, right? I say this is 60, the shape changes, and then I get that projection of whatever this is. Now the other nice thing is that if you want referenceable data right away from this, like if you want to use this for calculations, when you're doing your sketches, just add in the reference dimensions here. So all of these are going to be equal because it's an equilateral triangle, but it's going to give you reference dimensions, and then you can reference these in other things with the parameter set. So I'll show you that really quickly. If you hit S, and then I have this set up here, but if you go to parameters, box pops up, and then you have sketch 2, and then you have linear dimensions. Well, that D5 you can use to make other things. So whatever other parameter, and you could say D5, for example. Now you can actually use that as a whole reference number. So you have another sketch that you want to do whatever you want to. It doesn't have to be in 3D at this point. So, right. And then now you want to say other parameter. Oh, it failed. So D5. Can I do it? I guess we have to do this with other things. My bad. I don't know. I guess it should have worked, but I guess not. A lot of the other things that we do, so if it's an actual referenceable thing, it should be this, I guess. My bad. Yeah, I guess that should have referenced. I don't know what the deal is for that. Actually, well, they said it was referenceable. I should clarify that this is a new feature for Fusion. You weren't able to do this before the last update. So maybe it's buggy. Maybe they're just still working on stuff. I don't really know. Anyways, that was the whole idea of that. I guess it failed on me spectacularly, but that's kind of like the whole idea for this sort of thing. So I'm gonna save this before it decides to die on me. So we're gonna bring that back 40, 40, 60. And then that's kind of the workaround for this. So you've noticed that whenever I have these sketches on, this sketch is determined for the, excuse me, let me start over. This is the sketch that builds the next sketch. So could I do this original one in that sketch? I don't know. I've never tried it that way. Maybe I should try it in another video. So, just like a lot of other things in Fusion, there's 100 ways to do things for the most part, and that's an avenue that I should probably take a look at. Anyways, this was a really fun example of projecting points. I do this quite a bit, especially with edges, and then a lot of the other constructing tools in here. These are super handy to build planes and sketches and points and a whole bunch of other different things, sometimes that you need accurately done. and then as a step in line to do other sorts of actions within Fusion. So I need to build points that I can reference in other geometry, right? So that's kind of the idea of that. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you very much for checking out the video. Hopefully you found this video useful, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you want to see more. Happy designing.